everyone. Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Rainbow.
And we are not enemies of the people. So
Not yet.
Don't blame us. We didn't do anything wrong. It's the mayor and the newspaper editor of this small town who might be enemies of the people. You see, they have a lovely spa, but the doctor discovered that the water in the spa is not clean. It's not healthy. It's making people sick. So he told his brother, who's also the mayor, and this newspaper guy. Now they said, oh, this is terrible. We're gonna tell people all about it in the newspaper. The mayor said, I'll fix this, I'll clean that water up and solve this problem. And then they started to think, wait, if we close the spa, all the tourists will stay away and the town won't make any money. We can't do that, we'll kill the economy. So they decided to kill the story of the unhealthy water, and instead in the newspaper they said, oh, the spa is safe and it's lovely, come to the spa, have a holiday, spend money. So they're not telling people what the truth is because they think that the economy, money, is more important than people. So what do you think's gonna happen with this? We got these guys who are like powerful but want the money, and then we got the doctor, the scientist, who probably thinks, no, the science is important. This water's dangerous. People should know.
I think people are gonna start dying and then they have to tell the truth.
Well, that would be one way for the truth to come out, but what a terrible way for the truth to come out.
They're already all sick.
Do you think if the doctor just stood in front of the spa saying, don't go in, the water will kill you? He could do that, but then they might arrest him.
They probably would. Or they could get him killed.
Right, or tell everyone he's crazy. Don't believe him.
Yeah.
Who knows? But if people find out, you're right, they might protest and then people power might close down the spa. It would be good if they could find a way to clean the water, keep the spa open, and everyone's happy. But
if they find out what the problem is, hopefully they find out what the problem is.
Well, the only problem we have is we don't know how the story ends, and we can solve that problem by reading it now. So let's do that. When Dr. Stockman found out his article would no longer be published, he was furious. Determined to release his findings, he called a town meeting to personally inform the public about the spa's dangers. Unfortunately, the mayor and the newspaper's publisher held a vote to try and keep Dr. Stockman from speaking out. Changing strategies, Dr. Stockman said that he had a different topic to speak about. He launched into a passionate speech about how new, truthful ideas are always criticized.
All right, let's look at An Enemy of the People, Part 2. Let's see what happens with the doctor and all the people. When Dr. Stockman found out his article would no longer be published, he was furious. Ooh, so what does that mean to be furious? It means to shake your fist and you're really, really angry because something bad is happening or something is not fair, it's unjust, or you worked really hard and nobody paid attention. You're basically not just angry, you're very, very angry, and your eyes are gonna pop out of your head because you're so angry, or you want to hit somebody. That means you're very furious.
Wow.
Jennifer was furious at her assistant for discussing her private matters with the press. So if you're furious, it's going to be a very big deal. It's not just being upset, it's being so mad that you can't control yourself because you're about to do something really bad, like the doctor right now.
And you might shake your fist, although that's never actually happened.
Yeah, people don't really.
No, they do that in
movies. Do people do that?
I don't know. They do it in movies and stuff, but I've never been. I guess I've never really been furious. No, you don't have to shake your fist, but yeah, sometimes people do. All right, so he was really angry. He was angry that his brother and the newspaper guy were going to hide the story and not tell the truth. This is dangerous and wrong. So what does Dr. Stockman do? Determined to release his findings, he called a town meeting to personally inform the public about the spa's dangers. Well, good for him. He wants people to know this information. He wants the information out there, and he thinks, well, if they're not going to do it, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to tell everyone I'm calling a town meeting. So basically all the people of the town who care or are interested can come there and listen to the truth. Unfortunately, the mayor and the newspaper's publisher held a vote to try and keep Dr. Stockman from speaking out.
Oh, everybody's fighting against him.
Guys are using their political power to stop the doctor from telling the truth. They plan to stop him from speaking, saying, sorry, no time for you to talk. We got other business to do. Let's move on. Shh, shh, shh. Throw that man out if he says anything. They're basically setting it up to keep him quiet. And yes, this is very unfortunate, or to use the adverb unfortunately. When I give you bad news, when I give you something that might make you upset or news that I don't really want to pass on, but I kind of have to, I might say unfortunately and then give you the bad news. Unfortunately, we don't have a table tonight, so you won't be able to eat in our restaurant. You know, that kind of thing. Not necessarily, unfortunately, your house burned down, so you have nowhere to live. Usually it's for not terrible news, but just kind of bad or unhappy, or maybe not news that you really want to hear. For example, the restaurant's food was great, but unfortunately, its service was not. It's not the end of the world. It's just sort of, it's too bad.
Changing strategies, Dr. Stockman said that he had a different topic to speak about. He launched into a passionate speech about how new, truthful ideas are always criticized. So he's very smart because, you know, the government and the politicians were trying to do something shady. They wanted to be dishonest, and now he's using a smart way to talk about something else to not get into trouble.
Interesting. Yeah, so they said no speeches about the spa and the water in today's meeting. And he said, okay, well, I'm not speaking about that. I'm going to speak about honesty and doing the right thing. And people can probably figure out what he's talking about here. That's a very clever strategy.
Yes,
a strategy is basically what you do to reach your goal. Often when we talk about being successful with a project, whatever that project is, you might have a strategy. This is basically how we're going to reach our goal, our plan for reaching our goal. Officers in a military, in a war, would have a strategy to attack the enemy and win victory. Business people might have a strategy about how to make their new product really popular in the next 12 months or something like that. Or you might have a strategy by saying, I know if we go downtown at 5:30, I can find parking. If we go at 6, it'll be too late. I've got a plan. This is my strategy. For example, setting targets is an important part of any business strategy. Yeah, your plan has to have targets and goals. That way people know what they're trying to do.
So next we have the verb criticize. To criticize means to say someone's doing something bad. I heard that he did something. It's awful. Or he really shouldn't do that. He should know better.
He's terrible. I heard that about him too.
Awful person. How many times did I tell him to do it, but he never did it?
Right, and his hair looks silly.
Awful. So if you're criticizing somebody, that means you're saying something bad about someone's behavior or the way they did something, or where you're not happy with how they look. It could be anything negative, a judgment about another person. The reporter criticized the government for its lack of action during the crisis. So the reporter's saying, you should have done more, but you did nothing. The government should be responsible, and we don't want to have this kind of government around. Okay, let's take a very quick break, and we'll be back soon with the rest of the story.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们今天要继续来读 An Enemy of the People， 人民公敌。Dr. Stockman 的兄弟 Peter， 也就是城镇的镇长，他不敢让大众知道 Dr. Stockman 那一份关于水疗浴场水质的研究，怕会造成水疗浴场关闭，然后伤害到城镇的经济。好，那么 Dr. Stockman 他就发现他的文章将不再被发表，那这时候他就勃然大怒，决定要召开一场城镇会议，亲自告诉大众水疗浴场的危险。那么遗憾的是呢，包括镇长和报社发行人在内，那他们就举行了投票，试图阻止 Dr. Stockman 公开发言。于是呢，他就只好改变策略啦，他就说他有别的主题要谈，然后就发表了慷慨激昂的谈话，这就是关于新的真实的想法如何一直饱受抨击。好，那么单字 furious 它是形容暴怒的、大发雷霆的。Unfortunately 这个副词表示不幸地、遗憾地。 那么 strategy 是一个名词，它是指策略啊，或者是战略。还有 criticize 这个动词就表示批评、指责或是批判。好，这边2个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看第一个重点是 keep 加受词 from 加上名词或动名词，可以表达阻止什么什么，防止什么什么。当它的受词是人的时候，我们用 keep somebody from 加名词或动名词，就可以表达让某人远离点点点，阻止某人怎么样怎么样。像 keep children from danger 就是让小孩远离危险，避免小孩发生危险。那我们再看一个例句。The fence is meant to keep people from walking on the grass. 那片篱笆是用来阻止人们走在草坪上。好，那么第二重点是疑问词 how 可以引导名词子句，在句中当主词啊、受词或是主词补语用。特别注意，如果用来当主词的话，这个名词子句要视为单数哦，然后后面搭配单数动词。看2个例句。He doesn't know how the fight got started. 他不知道那场争执是怎么开始的。那这边的名词子句 how the fight got started 是当受词，也就是动词 know 的受词。那如果我说 how the fight got started is unclear， 那场争执如何开始尚不清楚。这时候名词子句 how the fight got started 是当主词，所以我们看到后面是搭配单数动词 is。好，接回到课文中。
Those in power are too stupid to address them, and the public's minds are too small to accept them, he said. His views angered the audience, who declared him an enemy of the people. By the next day, Dr. Stockman's house had been badly damaged, and he and his daughter had been fired from their jobs. Peter came to tell Dr. Stockman to leave town for a while, but he refused. He planned to stay and force everyone to see the error of their ways. The strongest man in the world, he said, is he who stands most alone. All right, so let's listen to Dr. Stockman's words as he's talking about the issue of truth. He says those in power are too stupid to address them, and the public's minds are too small to accept them.
Wow.
He's basically saying about new discoveries, new research, new data that might go against what you want or think or hope, but you have to accept this. This is the truth, the way things really are. So the powerful ones don't want to hear the bad news, and the people in the public are basically not interested, is what he's saying, and this is bad. Now, his views angered the audience, right? He was criticizing both the people and the politicians, and people often don't like to be criticized, even if there is some truth in what you're saying. So his views angered the audience, who declared him an enemy of the people. That's tough. He did the right thing, but no one appreciated
Everybody
it. Everyone
hated him.
blamed him.
So if you declare something, that means you tell it, say it out loud to everybody. It could be in the public, it could be online on social media, it could be in a newspaper. It's a big announcement that you make to share with the world. After some discussion, Alfred was declared the winner of the race. So the race, the people in charge took the microphones and say, Alfred's the winner, and told everybody. So if you declare something, it's like making an acknowledgement to everyone involved. By the next day, Dr. Stockman's house had been badly damaged. Oh no. And he and his daughter had been fired from their jobs. So
his daughter too?
Everybody hated him so much that they came to hurt his family. And they wrecked his house, and they even took away their jobs and even the daughter. It's terrible. Peter came to tell Dr. Stockman to leave town for a while, but he refused. So it wasn't going to be safe, and maybe they were going to be physically hurt. So Peter said, you need to go. You should leave. You should take your daughter and go somewhere else.
But this is so dishonest, because Peter, as the mayor, was one of the guys who made everyone angry with the doctor, right? The doctor was just trying to do his thing, and the mayor, his brother, is now like, oh man, you're in a lot of trouble. You should get out of here. People are gonna hurt you. They're only gonna hurt him because no one will listen to the truth. And Peter, being the mayor, should be one of the first ones to do that and show leadership. Well, Dr. Stockman, he's a brave man. He won't do the easy thing. He's gonna do the right thing. he planned to stay and force everyone to see the error of their ways. He's like yelling out into the darkness, looking for someone to listen to him kind of situation. The strongest man in the world, he said, is he who stands most alone. Wow, so you need to be brave and strong, not with muscles, but in your mind and in your heart, to stand for something you know is right, you believe is right, even if you're the only person doing it. So there you go. That's a tough lesson. This story was written a long time ago, but it's still very, very true today. Here's our what do you think question. Describe a time when you stood up for what you believed, like Dr. Stockman. What was the most challenging part?
Okay, I have one. When I was young, I think I was in 3rd grade.
Okay.
I had a classmate who was my friend.
Okay.
But then everybody really hated her because they thought that she had stolen something. But it was a misunderstanding, so nobody believed her. They couldn't find out who had stolen that. It was like it was a really nice pen. It was one of those like pens that smelled very nice. And it belonged to one of the most popular girls. So it was a big story.
Yeah.
And then everybody really, really hated her and nobody believed her. But so they told us not to hang out together anymore. But
She's
then
a bad
later,
kid, but you knew she wasn't.
Yeah, and so I ended up standing by her side, and eventually they found out that that girl had lied about someone stealing.
She'd lost the pen or broken it or something, and she just looked for someone to blame.
Exactly.
There you go. So good for you. I'm glad it worked out in the end, and by standing with your friend, you were able to find the truth together. But it was a difficult thing to do, right?
Very hard.
Probably a very stressful few days or weeks in school with lots of hurt feelings and stuff, just because people can't accept the truth, even if that truth is not the truth they really want to hear. All right, guys, be true to yourselves, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you back here sometime soon. Until then, stay strong.
刚刚说到 Dr. Stockman 有发表了慷慨激昂的谈话，他就说啦，当权者太愚蠢而无法应对这些想法，而大众的心智太狭隘而无法接受他们。那他这样的看法就激怒了听众，那些听众就宣称他是个人民的公敌。到了隔天啊 ，Dr. Stockman 的房子遭到严重破坏，他和女儿也遭到解雇。Peter 就劝他要暂时离开小镇，可是他拒绝了。他认为世界上最坚强的人就是最孤单的人，他打算要留下来，迫使每个人都意识到自己做错了。好，我们来看单字 declare 这个动词，它就表示宣告或是宣布。那么 Rainbow 老师在解释单字时，他用到 acknowledgement 这个字呢，是在 knowledge 前面加上 ac 这个字首，然后在后面加上 ment， 构成这个名词 acknowledgement 就是承认、认可的意思。那刚刚有讲到说房子遭到严重破坏，老师则用到 wreck 这个动词 ，wreck wreck 可以表达破坏或者是严重损坏。好，我们最后来看一个重点，进入文法时间。好，我们来看这个重点是 to 形容词或副词，再加上 to v 来表达太过怎么样而无法怎么样。那这个用法是带有否定的意思。这个不定词 to v 的前面呢，你还可以加入 for somebody 去表达对某人来说。举例来说 ，The job offer was too good for him to refuse。那个工作机会对他来说好到令人无法拒绝。再看个例句哦 ，She talked too fast for me to follow。她讲话太快，我跟不上。好，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
When Dr. Stockman found out his article would no longer be published, he was furious. Determined to release his findings, he called a town meeting to personally inform the public about the spa's dangers. Unfortunately, the mayor and the newspaper's publisher held a vote to try and keep Dr. Stockman from speaking out. Changing strategies, Dr. Stockman said that he had a different topic to speak about. He launched into a passionate speech about how new, truthful ideas are always criticized. Those in power are too stupid to address them, and the public's minds are too small to accept them, he said. His views angered the audience, who declared him an enemy of the people. By the next day, Dr. Stockman's house had been badly damaged, and he and his daughter had been fired from their jobs. Peter came to tell Dr. Stockman to leave town for a while, but he refused. He planned to stay and force everyone to see the error of their ways. The strongest man in the world, he said, is he who stands most alone.
Hello, I'm Matt.
I'm Jamie.
We're about to play Guess the Bear. We each have 3 cards, and on these cards are sentences, and in the sentences, the vocabulary words or phrases are replaced with the word bear. We'll each have 1 minute to see if we can guess all 3 words or phrases. You ready to guess first?
I am.
Okay, you're up. 1 minute, let's go. Your first one is an adverb. Bear will have to reschedule due to rain. I'd love to come, but bear, I have to work.
Unfortunately?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next one's a verb. He was bared for being lazy and not doing his work. It's not right to bear someone behind their back.
Criticize?
Yes.
Oh, okay, wow.
Next one's an adjective. The boss was bare with us for making the mistake. When she heard she'd been cheated, she was bare.
Mad?
Yeah, it's like that, but...
Furious?
Yes, wow. Okay, wow.
That was like too fast.
I'm impressed that you got all these so fast. So,
Wow.
yeah, that one was furious. So the boss was furious for making the mistake, and when she heard she'd been cheated, she was furious. I thought there's so many words for angry, mad, and you got it right away.
Furious,
And the other one, I was surprised you got all of them. In fact, unfortunately,
I also was gonna go like sadly.
unfortunately, we'll have to reschedule due to rain. And I'd love to come, but unfortunately, I have to work.
Yeah.
So that one, yeah, you could have been sadly.
Lucky day.
Very good.
Thank
Okay.
you. All right, ready?
I hope so.
Okay, let's go. 1 word verb. The city bared martial law after the riots, and Mr. Jones was bared the winner of the election.
Oh, declared.
Very good.
Declared.
All right, 1 word noun. What's your bear for winning the game? And the army decided to use a different bear.
Strategy.
Very good.
Okay.
All right, phrase, 2 words. Ken is bear scared, bear go into the dark cave. And I ate bear quickly, bear truly appreciate the meal.
Is it 2-2?
Yeah, it is. Wow. Ken is too scared to go into the dark cave.
Okay.
And I ate too quickly to truly appreciate the meal. How did she get that?
Too quickly to
Like, yeah.
truly. Okay, yeah.
Like, it's like the first 2 is T-O-O,
Yeah.
like too much, too scared, too quickly, right? And then the second 2 is just
Yeah.
T-O.
I know, yes. So
Oh,
that
okay.
one's- no, but yeah, that, I couldn't think of, yeah, couldn't be anything else.
Yeah, like too scared to do something. You got declared right away though, like the city declared martial law after the riots, and Mr. Jones was declared the winner of the election.
Yeah, after I heard the first sentence, I thought I wouldn't know it, and then when you said the second one, I was like, okay. Now.
Declared the winner.